Okay guys, I'm getting ready to make bath bombs, my typical usual bath bombs or bath fizzies. I want to take photos of the ones that I have. But before I do that, I want to show you a real simple recipe for doing a cold, when you have a cold, not when you are cold. When you have a cold, a shower fizzy. You put it at the bottom of your shower while you're taking a shower if you have a cold, and it opens up your sinuses. Now, unlike other products of mine, it's not going to have a bunch of coconut oil, it's not going to have a bunch of shea butter, it's not going to have vitamin E, it's not going to have infused oils. All it's going to have is your basic citric acid and baking soda base put together with some witch hazel and alcohol, and I'm going to add a few things to open up your sinuses, which is going to be menthol chips, camphor oil, and peppermint essential oil. So that's all that you need right now. I have everything else out because I'm going to be making other bath bombs, but this is a shower fizzy for when you are congested. And I just went through a month of pneumonia and I was miserable, and I used one of these at night before I went to bed because I had so much trouble breathing, and I did one of these every night, which is where I got the idea for it, to show you guys. And so I'm gonna put one together now and just show you. It's real easy to do, but I suggest that you do the, except for the alcohol and witch hazel, you know, which you have to figure out for yourself. But everything else, I suggest that you do the correct measurements, because you want the menthol, the camphor, and the peppermint to be just right. Okay, so these are my measuring cups, and you want 1 cup of baking soda. And because these are not going to be bath bombs, they're just going to be shower fizzies, you can break up the lumps. Normally I put it through a strainer, but with this it's probably still going to hold together. But I'm going to put in a cup of baking soda, and I'm going to break up the lumps this way instead of putting them through a strainer. Now, I have Epsom salt here mixed with a little bit of Atlantic sea salt, and you don't even need the salt, really. I just like to have the salt, and I think that it helps with the scent and the dispersing of the menthol. But don't go crazy with your salt, and don't use the most expensive salt that you have for this, because you're only going to put it at the bottom of your shower, and the purpose of this is just for the menthol and the camphor to hit your nasal passages. Now, normally I am very inaccurate when I make bath bombs, because you can kind of throw, you know, except for the baking soda and the citric acid, you could pretty much, you know, throw a little of this, a little of that, you know, and make it work. But when you're using menthol in any kind of application, you should be more exact. So for this, I'm going to take 2 teaspoons. I'm going to try to make them level teaspoons. And there we have it. So what I have in here right now is some Epsom salt, some baking soda, and some menthol. Now, you should test these out, especially if you have a cold, which is what I did, and I found that 2 teaspoons per cup of baking soda was pretty good. Then you want to take 1 teaspoon of camphor oil. You put in the 1 teaspoon of camphor oil. And then you want to take, where is it? My peppermint essential oil is here someplace. Okay, now you want a teaspoon of peppermint essential oil. You could also use wintergreen, you know, anything like that. And you want to mix it around with the whisk. And there, you know, if you're selling these, you might want to color them, but I really don't see any reason for that. Now, what I'm going to do is I have 91% alcohol, and for those of you who saw me do my foot fizzy video, I misrepresented Kevin Devine's testing video that he did, which was great. And he actually found that the 91% alcohol did less fizzing than others. So I have 91% alcohol here. And I'm going to put that in the bottle and see what happens. I have my half of cup of citric acid. I'm going to put that in there. Mix it around. And again, if you notice, there's no oils or butters in here. It's just baking soda, citric acid, essential oils, menthol chips, and some Epsom salt. So you can actually, if you sell these, you can sell them. I do suggest you test them first to make sure that they're, you know, they're not overwhelming. But you definitely want to let people, you know, and you can actually retail them for less money than the others because they don't have. Okay, so this is, it is bubbling up, you know, pretty much, the alcohol. Maybe Kevin uses different alcohol than I do. Let me try witch hazel. A little much the same. But anyway, I always know which ones these are because I always make a half of them. And so you want to see if they, I'm sorry about the whisk being in the way, but you want them to hold together like that. And what I do is I just take the regular bath bomb molds. I don't do anything fancy with the flowers. You don't really care about flowers when you just want to go to bed and breathe. So anyway, there is our little shower foot fizzy. Okay, so we're going on our third shower fizzy. So this makes just about 3 half fizzies. Just the cup of baking soda, the half a cup of citric acid, some Epsom salt and menthol chips, and some camphor essential oil and some peppermint essential oil. And you have yourself a lovely, lovely, natural, wonderful decongestant. So I hope that if you're using them for yourself, you feel better. I hope if you're selling them, your customers feel better. That's all there is to it. Happy balm making.